Super Mayhem.
Hello friends, Tim here again from Super Mayhem, bringing you the latest and greatest in Australian YouTubing history, I guess you could say. So I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, Danger Dolan. He's been kind enough to invite me into his house, and I thought I'd probe him, but not inappropriately, so I've already been cautioned against that. So
I invited you out to our balcony, so that's like the first step.
the lights will change, you know, like it'll be like a nice dim lighting. There's still Halloween things up as well, so there's like blood.
I love Halloween, just so you know.
Yeah, well, we might be doing a Halloween stream, hey, maybe? We'll see.
Yeah, don't know.
We'll see. I don't know, I've got blown the secret already.
I know what we're doing now.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. We'll do something for Halloween, I'm sure, individually. So yeah, I'm just going to ask Danger Dolan a few questions so he doesn't get hassled every time he live streams. You can just direct him to this interview, and that will help me with the views and everything as well. So we'll delve right into it. So what was growing up like for you? School, family, pets, bullies? Was it a pretty average sort of growing up spurt for you, or?
Super average.
Super average?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that at all.
You don't know how to answer that
It's
at all?
like
I've stumped you on the first one.
Yeah.
Well, I know you've got the mysterious brother that does the voices and everything, and like
yeah.
So did he play video games with you as a kid and stuff?
Oh yeah, for sure. He was like full on camped out playing Super Mario Brothers 1 on his NES or Boy and His Blob, that kind of thing. And yeah, I'm pretty sure he'd do that trick where he'd give you a controller that's not plugged in. You'd feel like you're playing.
Yeah.
And I would leave him alone. I wouldn't be like, hey, give me a turn, because I'd be like, I'm in the zone. I'm totally winning.
I'm smashing this game.
Yeah, but we completely skipped the SNES and we went straight to the N64 and the PS1. I really regret that though, because the SNES, like, I feel somewhat nostalgic for it, but not really, because I never played it back then.
You never lived through it. Yeah.
But I went to my friend's house and pretty much all I did was play that console. Eventually he confronted me, he's like, do you just come over here to play this? I'm like, no, I enjoy your company.
Now shut up while I play the game.
So I strived after that to hang out with him a bit more, but he got me.
That's awesome, he called you out. Yeah. So you didn't have any bullies or anything? There was no one that teased you as a kid?
In primary school it was pretty sweet. Just had a small group of close friends. No, we just like hang out every so often. We actually play a lot of Super Smash when we get together. That or like water bomb fights, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like an actual physical water bomb fight? Like,
yeah. And it would get real violent, like smashing people's faces. So I guess you could call that bullying. If you call like just like general slaughter of all your friends.
Yeah. Oh, well, as long as it doesn't get too rough, you know, no one loses an eye with a water bomb or something.
Well, I don't know, it's pretty close.
Well, we almost touched on it. So what was like the first video game you ever played? You mentioned your brother playing Mario Brothers.
It's SMB1. Apart from that, just like vague memories of playing a game called Solstice for the NES, which just had great music in it. That was like a top-down, what do you call it?
Shooter or something?
It's like that word where you like look down on something, it's like kind of like symmetrical or something like that. But it was like a game like that, and it was very weird. But apart from that, I played some kind of like, you know, Taz from Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
it's like a game based on that. But no, it's so hard to remember. All I remember is SMB1. I was pretty obsessed with that one.
Yeah, I think that might have been my first one too, actually, now that you mention it. Yeah, I have memories of...
It's a pack-in game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And it even came with Duck Hunt at one point.
I played Duck Hunt a fair bit as well, yeah. Anything that was a pack-in was like an immediate, like, you gotta play that one because...
It comes with it.
You don't have to beg your parents for anything.
It's like Wii Sports, right? That came with the Wii, didn't it? Or something like that.
I'm sure for a lot of people who were born in like 2000s, that would be like their nostalgic game.
Yeah. Sure. Playing tennis against their mum or something, or like that. So, do you have a favourite console, having spoken about games?
Oh, it's got to be the N64, I think.
Yeah?
Pretty sure. Yeah, that was very nostalgic. But the PS1 is also great, and PS2 is great. Jeez, man.
It's too many, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to narrow it down. Was there a favourite game on the N64? Like,
oh man, Mario Kart 64 was great.
yeah, they reached perfection, you reckon, back in '96 or
Oh, it
'97?
was not a perfect game, but it was very fun at the time.
Yeah.
Apart from that, so a favorite game on N64.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, I didn't get too much of a chance to play Super Mario 64, even though that's a great game, because my brother was like, oh no, that's a terrible game, that's why we never bought it. And then I grew up and I'm like, he was wrong.
He lied to me.
So
He
wrong.
lied.
That's great.
Then this will probably be an even tougher one. What's your favourite video game or games? If you had to narrow it down, do you have like an absolute favourite or?
Yeah, so SM64 is up there, but it's either got to be Final Fantasy VII or, and I don't know if you classify this as like a traditional game, World of Warcraft.
Okay.
So
yeah.
if you don't classify WoW as a traditional game, I mean that would be my
Oh,
favorite.
WoW would be a traditional game, I think.
Yeah, otherwise it'd be FF7 for sure.
Yeah, I know you got asked that one a lot on stream, and I remember you didn't want to answer it anymore, so I'm like, we have to get this on
In the
camera.
description box, and I was like, let's go down there.
Stop hassling me. So we'll delve a little bit further into your life. I know you did the NICE course, which is the new Enterprise Incentive course, where you met the wonderful Gooby. Can you tell us a little about that, and do you think it contributed to your success? So maybe first of all, what is it, and did it help you?
Sure.
Yeah.
So at that stage I was still on Centrelink, which for Americans that would be welfare, and when I was talking to them they suggested doing the NICE course because I said I was doing something on YouTube, but it was taking a while to get to like fund itself. So they said, yeah, do the NICE course, they'll fund you for like a whole year if you just do like a couple of months of this course and just kind of prove that you have a business plan and everything. So I did that, and yeah, that's when I met the Goopster. And so yeah, they funded me for like 10 months after that, and that was great. That was actually perfect because I needed that, because it took 10 months to get off the ground working full time. And once that ended, pretty much the instant it ended was when it started taking off to the point where it would fund itself. So that's good. But yeah, they kind of just teach you just general business stuff. A lot of it was about brick and mortar stores, of like how to sell things on the street and stuff. It's like, well, this is kind of different because it's the internet, but so I spent more time explaining to them how it works than they did teaching me stuff. So there's that.
So did it help you with the business side of it too? Like,
Oh, for sure.
yeah, looking back at it later, or yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a short course, but they do teach you the fundamentals of finance and growth, and just how to manage a business. I didn't think this was going to be a company. Actually, we just made it a company out of necessity, because my accountant was like, you should probably make this a company. I was like, yeah, okay. And they were like, do you have a name for your company? I was like, I don't know. Because Tolop, who worked on the channel, he made a joke on our Facebook that had this picture of this infection thing that was like a circle, and he called it Planet Dolan. And so when my accountant asked, I was like, Planet Dolan?
It's just stuck.
And so they wrote in like, you are now that forever. I'm like, yay.
So there goes the company name. That's the story of
that's
the
exactly
origin,
like, I don't have a choice. That is the company name for forevermore. What was I saying?
Yeah, it was good basically. The course was good.
Yeah,
it gave you a bit of financial freedom to build your business, really.
Yeah, like it wasn't a huge amount. I wouldn't recommend it if you're just doing like something big, but if you're just doing something really small and you just need enough to live on, like food and expenses, then yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's a good
Like
start.
as long as you think you can do it in a year, because after that, yeah, you're on your own, and they're not going to help you again. So
they boot you off it basically.
Yeah.
So this one was fan submitted, but we spoke about Gooby entering your life then. My fans wanted to know, are you planning to have kids?
yeah, maybe one day.
Maybe one day?
Yeah, I think we want to be less dependent on YouTube first. I don't really feel comfortable basing like children's future on
Volatility.
that word, that really complicated word on YouTube. So yeah, I think that once we have, well, at least once I found more of a direction for the company, which is hopefully to do with animation of some description, then we'll probably do it.
So that's a bit of an insight into one of the top YouTubers still doesn't feel comfortable.
I don't think anyone feels comfortable.
Yeah, it's a bit precarious, right? Like you could drop off any day, sort of
even
thing.
Even on Twitch, if you don't stream for like a month, like all your subs disappear and you don't got no donations and not anything. And if you're like sick for a month, then guess what? Like you're out in your ass. Like it's no better over there. So
yeah. Well, as I was saying just before off camera, like I was sick for 11 months. And my channel still hasn't recovered, so all of the 3 people watching this, like, subscribe and share, you know, like, do all that good stuff. So going on from the niece and kids, I'm jumping around a little bit here, but have you done any further education other than high school and the NES, the niece?
Yeah, I did a writing course, professional writing and editing for just a couple of years, and as I was saying off camera, the first year was great. They teach you a lot of stuff about not just professional writing, but also creative writing, how to structure characters and plots and all that. But the second year was more about copy editing and other boring garbage that no one wants to learn. And then they drill into your head that you're never going to find a job because it's impossible. And so after that, I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Did they tell you that at the start, or they rope you in a little bit and then tell you?
Yeah, I think they roped me in, and then they were like, "Hey, yeah, by the way, this isn't going to go over." I was like, "Yeah, great." Apart from that, no, nothing. Although, to be honest, I actually have been looking at doing another course maybe next year. I don't know. It depends if I have enough time.
Okay. Yeah. And would that be writing related, or
no? It'd be more to do with media. But I'm still shopping around. I don't know if I will yet. It depends if we have any opportunities come up in the next year, I won't do it. But if not, then it's something that would lead to something. So it'd just be in addition to all the work that we're doing on YouTube. Because right now we're pretty. We've got it to the point where we do have like a fair bit of free time to work on stuff on our own. So it's a possibility, but I'm not sure yet.
See where it takes you. Education's always good.
Yeah, you can never learn too much.
Yeah. So I know you've done at least a little bit of traveling. Do you have any interesting stories or favourite places you have been to?
So I've been to England, America twice, just California, New Zealand, Japan was the last place Gooby and I went to. I've been a couple of places in Australia, Gold Coast and Sydney.
Gold Coast is fun. Did you go to Movie World and stuff?
Yeah. We did the same thing in the States as well. Last time we went to Las Vegas, and actually in Las Vegas we were at Caesar's Palace, and Gooby said, like, she found this slot machine that she really liked, and she was like, I'm gonna go play it. And me and my friends were like, okay. And then she was gone for like 10 minutes, and we're like, where is she? We went to that slot machine, she wasn't there. It was like, well, she doesn't know what held her we're at. This place is huge, we've lost her. So we kind of looked around for like, I don't know, like half an hour, and then eventually we found her. I was so worried by that point. I was like, oh.
Yeah, where's she gone?
Yeah, and she was like, oh yeah, there's a machine over there. It caught my eye, so I went and did that. I was like, without telling us? So
you need GPS on Gooby so you can like locate
it. Unfortunately, because we didn't have our mobile phones working, because we didn't get SIM cards, I don't think, or at least they weren't working there, we couldn't call her either, so it was like, really, if we didn't find her, we would have been shit out of luck.
You just lose your wife in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that would have been, I would still be looking for her right now. It wasn't for the fact we found her.
Little flyers, you know, like as a mermaid, you know, like, have you seen this girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a bit scary. So, after you've been through a traumatic event like that, or just in general, what do you do to relax when you're not YouTubing? Or
I work more.
You work more?
Yeah, either that or I just game. I'll just game on my own. Like I was saying that, you know, I finished Octopath Traveler, which was really fun. That you know, I like playing RPGs, but I don't like how long they are. But that's like you have to deal with it because that's the genre.
Yeah.
So I'll just play an RPG for ages, and so like I'll get lost in that. So yeah, I'll either be working more or I'll just be playing a game. Otherwise, every so often I'll just hang out with mates or whatever.
And you're a bit of a movie buff too, right?
Yeah. So I was showing him my collection of all these behind-the-scenes books on movies and games and stuff. Which is pretty extensive, and it's just really half the time it's more interesting learning about how a movie was made than it is just like. I mean, I'm halfway through reading the complete autobiography on George Lucas just for no reason, which is really interesting. Just not just talking about Star Wars, but
his life,
like American Graffiti and his student films, and it's like I think the major thing that no one really talks about is how he built his company and how he built Skywalker Ranch to kind of house all these other independent filmmakers, and I find that really interesting. Just like he's got this like safe haven for like people to come over, and you don't get mobbed by people in suits saying, "Hey, I want like 90% of your profits" for no reason at all, apart from the fact that we have a monopoly on the whole industry. No, it's just really interesting stuff.
Yeah, fascinating. I guess it's like as a creator, you start appreciating more what goes into behind the scenes almost, or something like that.
I just kind of lost interest in reading fiction a while ago, and I just like reading about just real stuff. I just like real stuff, autobiographies and behind the scenes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I wrote this one yesterday. I don't know if I'll include this because it's just, I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was drunk. I just wrote, if you could own one domain name, what would it be? For whatever reason. I mean, it could be as boring as, planetdolan.com or...
What are the letters on a keyboard next to G?
I can't think now. Is it WASD or something?
Let me boot up my phone real quick and just have a look.
Is it like the extension of QWERTY or something like that?
Okay. I would get the domain name either Fugel or Hugel.
Alright, yeah. the typo, yeah.
So, make billions.
Yeah. You have your own little search engine that just redirects to all your sites, and stuff. That's cool, Fugel. I like it. Alright, so we're getting to our either or section. So you feel free to elaborate on these, or if you don't know who they are or whatever, that's fine too. So, Steven Seagal or Jean-Claude Van Damme?
For what?
Just in general, like as movies, or as friends, or as you appreciate them, or however you interpret it.
No, probably Van Damme in his prime. There has to be in his prime.
Van Damme in his prime.
Can't be today.
Is that before he's got the lump on his head where he got kicked or something?
Yep.
Cinemas or home? Cinemas?
Yeah, I like the environment.
There's a good smell in cinemas, I find. Like
it's experience, not just the movie.
Yeah, it's a combination. Comedy or action movies?
Depends what kind of comedy. There are some real shit comedies.
Yeah.
I'd go comedy if it was a good one. Otherwise, action movies easily.
Action, yeah. Paintings or photos?
Photos.
Photos, more so? Oh, there you go. Wouldn't have picked that one. Thought painting, bit of artistic streak or something.
I find paintings are just trying to emulate real life a lot of the time, and I'd rather just look at real life.
Makes sense. Good justification. Not that you need one. So quite a simple one now. Chicken or beef?
Chicken.
Chicken? Everyone likes chicken.
Yep.
So one thing amongst all religions that we can all agree on, most people, unless you're a vegetarian, would agree with chicken, I guess. The zoo or an aquarium?
An aquarium, because it's where Gooby and I had our first date.
Was that in Melbourne? The Melbourne Aquarium? Oh yeah, I love that place, man. I try to go once a year. Was it like real romantic in the jellyfish cage? There's like this nice lighting and stuff, and it's like...
Yeah, we saw the jellyfish before I even came up with a nickname for we went back and then we took a photo, which is now my phone home screen thing. of her in front of the jellyfish enclosure.
That's awesome. So was it, did you have a smooth line? Was it like, hey, I love the way the jellyfish glances in your eyes. Suddenly I'm an Italian man, hey, you know, I like to was the ladies, or?
Yeah, no, I think I'd fuck that up.
He's actually a romantic, ladies and gentlemen. He's tried to schmooze me multiple times.
I think I got you over here.
Next to the blood-stained window.
That's right.
So this is a little bit more personal, so you can not answer this one if you want or not. Sleep in PJs or nude?
Probably nude.
Nude? He's free balling, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. PJs just take too long to put on. You may as well just like, it's less work to do. Not.
He's actually wearing Velcro pants as well that he can just pull off
Moment's
like
notice.
at a moment's notice. Exactly. Leather or lace? I told you we're delving into your psyche here.
Leather?
Leather? Wow, that says a lot about you. I'm doing there's people down there. We're doing a personality test as well. We're trying to find out about Danger Dolan's innermost workings. I think I know the answer based on your beverage, but beer or mixed drinks?
Beer.
Beer, mate.
Get some beer in there. Fucking beer. Slam it down faster, it's a hot and thirst.
PC or console?
I'm gonna go with console.
Console.
Because I like the experience of just playing a game and having it work.
Yeah.
Instead of PC where you gotta set up 1,000 things.
And there's patches and then there's
Yeah.
little bits of shit you gotta
I've tried
install.
to play Nier Automata on PC. Just did not work, and my computer's fine and it plays everything, but the standards would not work. And I'm like, this wouldn't happen on console, and it didn't because I played it on console. Got a refund and I played it on console.
Yeah, it's weird that like you'd think computers would have got to that point where like if things work, they work. Like you say, like in a console, you just plug in a cartridge or a CD or whatever.
So many swappable components on a computer, they can't make it across the board. They have to suit all kinds of different things, and that just makes it really buggy.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. Yeah.
I just like playing a game, and I mean, sure, like, you know, when you boot up a modern console and it's like, I've got to patch the console, I'm going to install it, and then it's like, oh, now the game has to patch and install. You're like, oh, I don't want to die, but
2 hours later, like I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah. But it's nice for it to just work.
And it's a bit more relaxing, right? You can kind of sit back and
Yeah, exactly.
play or whatever. Yeah. I'm hoping it's the first one, but feel free to not have that. Nintendo or Sega? Sega, as we say it here in Australia.
It'd just be Nintendo.
Nintendo?
Yeah.
Sega
I
doesn't get
I don't
mentioned.
really have a lot of nostalgia for Sega, so
Yeah. I like the first Sonic game, but I did have a Mega Drive, or a Genesis as it's called in overseas town. But yeah, that's another story. So this probably answers itself, but Mario or Sonic? Mario.
Yeah.
Goes without.
Sonic was cool, and then he just became edgy nonsense. edgy nonsense. Which sucks.
Gonna go fast. I'm thinking about getting some Sonic shoes tattooed on my foot, so I run faster.
Oh, when I was in Japan at TGS, they had the actual Sonic shoes.
Alright, so our camera just cut out there, but we were on Mario or Sonic, I think it was. Mario or Sonic, you had a story?
Yeah, and I said Mario, and then you said you were thinking about getting a tattoo of Sonic shoes.
Yeah.
And I was saying that in Japan, in TGS, they had on sale the actual like Sonic shoes.
Oh,
and
like the sneakers.
Gooby wanted to buy some, but I don't think we did. But they were really cool, actually.
So they were like red with white stripes sort of thing, or
The
white
exact
with red
shoes.
stripes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how comfortable they'd be though.
Yeah,
pointy or
try 'em on.
something.
Yeah. But you go fast.
Yeah, that's it. Gotta go fast. This one I think I know the answer to. Cloud from Final Fantasy VII or Crash Bandicoot?
It's just cloudy.
Yeah. Are you a Bandicoot fan? Like,
Yeah, I played the whole remake when that came out.
The trilogy remake?
Yeah, did you play that?
No. I have fond memories of the first one on PlayStation. But...
No, it was really good. The only level I didn't do was the DLC level, the really, really hard one. I got really close to beating that one. I was like within it. I couldn't tell because what happened was I got within an inch of the end, but I didn't see the end. So I gave up, and then I watched someone stream it, and they like got past that bit, and I was like, oh, it's the end. I was like, damn it!
Ah, that's brutal.
Yeah. So yeah, no, the game was great, but I had to play it on the TV in the bedroom because in the lounge room, this TV has a slight like millisecond lag, and that just doesn't work with a platformer like that, like a really tight one.
Yeah.
So I had to go upstairs to play it, which kind of sucked because it was on the PS4. I don't think is it on the Switch now?
I think you can get it on the Switch.
Yeah,
There's the Insane Trilogy on the Switch, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't on Switch at the time, it was just PS4. If it was on Switch, I would have just gone like handheld mode and just played it.
Yeah.
Because then you would have had no lag at all.
Yeah.
But no, it was unbearable with that lag.
The milliseconds count.
Yeah.
Note that, TV creators.
There's that thing you can get where you plug your old console into the something Meister. It's this like output card where you put it in and it outputs to HDMI, but there's absolutely no lag at all.
Oh, okay.
Streammeister, I think it's called, or something like that. And that's perfect. I played a couple of games like that. I was like, I wish I knew about this before I set up my whole lounge room with all these old consoles.
Yeah.
Plugged straight into the TV because this would have just been all HDMI at that point.
That'd be sick, yeah. Something maybe for the future.
Framemeister, that's what it's called.
Framemeister.
Yeah, totally worth it. But you can only get it in Japan, so the whole box is in Japanese, but everyone on YouTube uses it if they play old games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'll have to see. If I can find a link, I'll put it down below. If not,
otherwise I just recommend the NES and the SNES the package thing where you get like a whole bunch of games.
The minis?
The minis, yeah. Because those ones, just work out of the box, no lag, and you get all the best games for the most part anyway. Yeah. Except for I think Chrono Trigger, which is kind of weird. You don't get that. But most of the other games are great. And you get Star Fox 2, which is great.
I've got a Mega Drive one of them. It's
Yeah,
HDMI. I haven't played it yet though, actually. A friend got it for me for my birthday. I'll have to have a look at it. But yeah, as we were saying, we're mostly Nintendo fanboys. Well, I'm a Nintendo fanboy. I won't classify you.
I just play everything.
Yeah, don't discriminate. So having said that, retro or new?
Oh, retro for sure. I love me some retro. Yeah. The only new games that I really enjoy as much as retro is usually RPGs, and as I said, I play a lot of those.
Yep.
But every so often there'll be a game that comes out that I like.
Does that go for clothing too? Are you like stuck in the 80s or something? You look pretty regular to me. I don't know. You
know what? I hate buying clothes. I only do it out of complete necessity if I just don't have enough.
Yeah.
So if some of my shirts start to fray, I'm like, guess I gotta go to the cheapest place I can possibly find. Just get whatever's on the shelf. Although this shirt I'm currently wearing is the Dolan logo shirt, which is something we picked up because we were just selling merchandise of it and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's like one of my favorite shirts.
Yeah, I like my ones. So you feel comfortable in your own brand. You know? Yeah, exactly. Represent. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. We'll talk a little bit more about merch and stuff later on.
Actually, just to show off my. Can they see that?
Yep. Yeah, I think we're in there. We're in frame.
Yeah, that was it's Hideo Kojima's new company game thing. The guy who made Metal Gear and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just some merch that I picked up at one of the cons. I just like to wear video game merchandise. It's good.
Yeah. Just need to get you some Sonic shoes and complete the outfit.
I don't know. I think I'd feel too cringy, but
just running down the street. So would you say adventurous or cautious?
Cautious.
Cautious? Pessimist or optimist or realist?
No, just realist, I guess.
Realist, yeah. I think I'm a realist as well. So I've got in brackets here, a realist is a person who accepts the situation as it is and is prepared to deal with it accordingly. So if someone...
Is there a word for someone who just doesn't give a crap about anything? That's
I don't know, a craptist?
Craptist. Totally craptist.
YouTube or Netflix or other streaming service?
I'd say Twitch, actually. I like watching a lot of Twitch. Yep.
Yeah, so you watch gamers and stuff, obviously, yeah?
Pretty much. Yeah, if I want to watch something but I don't actually want to watch it, I want to do other stuff at the same time, I always put on a Twitch stream. Because you can dip in and out of that easily. Whereas with a show, if you miss like 5 minutes, you'll probably get lost. I don't like that. No. I'd have to sit down, like if I'm going to watch something, it'll almost always be a movie, and I've got an endless stream of movies I can watch. Always waiting. But with TV shows, they go for ages and they're padded out. And yeah, if you miss something, you're probably going to miss a whole ton. So,
you got any favorite streamers you want to shout out, or just
not really. It really depends on what kind of like. I got some retro streamers. I got people who play Hearthstone, and I was recently watching people who play the new WoW expansion. And there are some speedrunners. I really like watching speedrunners.
Oh yeah, the Ocarina of Time ones are great. They're
Yeah.
like just glitching through walls and flying and stuff.
For sure. Yeah, there are tons of those. I mean, if you just watch JDQ, you can usually get a whole list of names of people who stream those games, and it's usually the games that you like, and you just watch them, and you're all set. And they'll host other people who watch similar games, and before you know it, you've got a giant list of people to watch all the time, and they're 24/7 always streaming something.
Something's always on, yeah. I know there's like even stream houses people have, like where they go in 8-hour shifts, like where they like just rotate, you know, through the cycle.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah, it would be cool to have, but like I don't know if I'd be prepared to do it like 8 hours a day, you know, like if you get the graveyard shift, you know, like.
Oh, I would do it as like a limited time event. I wouldn't do it like full time.
Yeah,
that would drive me fucking nuts. That's why I never want to stream full time.
Yeah.
That would drive me crazy.
So is there a reason you dropped off the streaming a bit, or just?
That's pretty much it. As we were saying before, I just kind of found that I enjoyed games more when I played them on my own than I did like streaming them. So I really only ever streamed with friends, right? With people. And so if I try to stream on my own, I'm like, I'm not really enjoying this. Like, it's. I just had a look to see if it was worth my time, and it was really not. And at least when I when I play on my own, I don't have to be entertaining. I can just be kind of mellow and not say anything and just enjoy the game. And that's all I need. Because I mean, I'm not working in that space. I'm just relaxing. So streaming makes it work. And so that's pretty much it. So I mean, if I got friends over as frequently as I did, then we would probably stream a bit more. But you know, it gets hard to get people over, like if they're not feeling great, or you know, if you're not in the right sleep cycle that week. Because my job is so all up in the air. Half the time I can't even show up for a thing. So
yeah, it becomes tough, doesn't it? Like when you live in this.
And so if you don't stream for ages, then people stop watching, and so it's just like a cycle like that.
Yeah.
And besides, like, Australian times are really awful for Americans, and that's the majority of the audience.
Yep.
So if you stream at prime time for us, which is 7 p.m., that's like middle of the night or early morning for America, so nobody's watching anyway. So you'd have to stream at like 10 a.m. prime time for America.
Yep. Yeah.
And if you did that, you can't really drink because then you look like an alcoholic.
Yeah.
So you can't drink. You got to get your friends over at 10 a.m. and they're probably still like got toothpaste on their teeth. No one's gonna have a great time, and so that's why.
Yeah.
You know, if I was in America and like it was like a way of like funding stuff we did with like animation, that'd be great. And I would only do it like on weekends, but you'd have to do it full time, and you know what I mean? It's like all these reasons.
It's hard to be on all the time too. Like you have to.
It's be entertaining.
It sounds funny, but yeah, you do. It's different when you stream. Like you're kind of a bit more aware and want to be amusing or something like that.
Pretty much every streamer I watch that don't get any growth is because they're pretty low energy and they're just being themselves, which you can't do. The big streamers and the people who have growth are the ones who are very wacky and zany, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That is the worst thing.
Got to sink a Red Bull before you go on.
Yeah, you're like, and you don't want to do that at 10 a.m.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's a bit tough. So going on with our questioning, what's the meaning of life? / do you have a life motto? We've entered philosophy questionnaires. Do you have a saying or motto or anything that you live by, or just take it as it comes? Or?
So we're talking about crapology or something like that?
Crappist.
Yeah,
Crappist.
total crappist. So I just don't give a crap anymore.
Yeah.
No, I used to believe in God up until I was about 14 or so, and then I was like, nah, shit's too random for that. Like, nothing really makes any sense in the world for that to be like for there to be any kind of a plan. So after that, I was like, I guess it's just random.
Yeah, we're just a ball of rock floating through space.
So, I mean, the thing is, most people don't accept that because they'd go crazy if that was the case, and they'd get violent and shit. So I understand why most people turn to other stuff, but me, I don't care.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, like, there's obviously simple rules to live by, like,
be happy.
Yeah, try and be happy would be a good one, or like, don't do something to someone that you wouldn't want done to yourself. I try to live by that rule all the time, you know, like, just because it's, you know, pretty common courtesy, I nearly said, or something like that.
Oh, it's a great way to make friends.
Yeah,
if you didn't do that, you'd be an asshole.
If you're a sour bitch all the time, yeah, it doesn't go so well, does it? Yeah. So we're sort of moving into YouTube territory here. You are something like the second biggest Australian YouTuber. Does that kind of title make you happy? Or is it just a number to you, or how do you take it?
It's just a number, I guess. It's great if you're trying to network and you tell people that because it sounds fancy.
Yeah.
Well, no, not really. I think the important thing is that you have viewers, and viewers means that you can get more average revenue to make more stuff, which gets more viewers, and so it's a snowball effect. And so you're either going up the hill or you're going down the hill.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. Like, you kind of have an objective, and you know, our objective is very clear. It's like we want to do cartoons and animations and stuff. That's all. So we're just aiming in that direction, and anything we do is just like trying to get the audience and the funding to do that. That's all. So it's nice to have a clear goal, because most channels don't really. They just kind of do everything and just have fun.
Yeah.
Which is okay for a while, but then you're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you get a bit lost in the repetition.
You always gotta have a goal. I mean, that's a good life philosophy. You always gotta have a goal. Just like characters and stories, you always gotta shoot towards something. Otherwise, you'll just go crazy.
Yeah.
And
no, it's good. Like, goal setting, it can be as simple, depending how you're feeling, of getting out of bed and having a shower.
Yeah.
Or getting a house, or going on a holiday, or saving up for that game, or whatever.
Before I moved out of my parents' place, I had 3 goals that were very clear. It was got to find a job, got to find a place to live like that is my own, and I got to have a goal. And so I got all those things actually very quickly after that, which is crazy.
Bang, bang.
And so I had to make like more goals after that. I was like, okay, now we're in the post game. So this is the next goal, which is like make animations and stuff.
That's really good, man. I think that's a really good advice for anyone in life, just in general. Have a goal, or set a goal.
Never be satisfied where you are, because you'll just go fucking nuts. So, you know.
That's it, man. So when did you actually start making videos? Do you remember?
Yeah, it would have been about 2012. It was before my gaming channel. So I made a channel centered about writing and stuff. Okay. So I was kind of using the lessons I learned from writing and just talking about it on YouTube. I was only using that as like an experiment to kind of figure out what I was going to do with YouTube, because I knew that a lot of people had made it their careers, and I was like, that sounds interesting, I'll give it a shot. And so, but after that I was like, well, this is going to have a certain amount of growth in a certain amount of time. Or I could do gaming, which is another one of my big interests, and that would probably have a lot more growth, because like that's a lot more people are interested in that, and there's a lot more topics you can cover. And I thought I could contribute something, because I was doing World of Warcraft guides on bosses, which no one else was, or not many people were doing in a concise way. And then after that I was like, shit, I'll just experiment with all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So I just did that for like years, and then, you know, I think the key thing is to just do research on YouTube and just find what people are doing, and just see if there's a format you like doing, and then do it in your own way. So when I found countdowns, when I was writing stories, I did a lot of research on different topics, and I found lots of interesting facts, and I was like, shit, there's like a format that incorporates the exact thing I was doing anyway, but then they just assemble it into a list for people with just the interesting parts. I'm like, I'll do this shit, like it sounds great. And so I did that, and then after that that's when we did SPD, which is animations and stuff. So just following interests, your own interests, and yeah. So yeah, the first channel was just about writing, and then the next one was just about gaming.
Does that one still exist? The first one?
No, I just deleted it.
It's a shame.
Yeah, I think I've still got all the videos for it. I just didn't see any point in leaving it up because it didn't get any views, and it was just a experiment, just to kind of learn.
That's cool. So how did you get into YouTube actually? Like what made you want to, I guess, create videos, or was it?
Oh, when I was in high school, it was over 10 years ago now. We had this like lesson thing. It was about business management, and in it they wanted you to do a video talking about your business, and so I was like, okay, we're gonna make videos, and I'm like, instead of making a video about boring business shit, I'm just gonna make something funny. And so what I did was I made a video talking about like my friend's business, like who was in the class, because he made his own business video. I was kind of ripping on his stuff, and so I kind of incorporated like a whole bunch of memes, and I did this thing where I timed up some images and words to the tune of that really good song from Super Mario Brothers 2. You know the one? And I showed it to my friends. They're like, "Whoa, it's really good. It's really funny." And it was really fun just timing up like all these jokes to like the exact beats of the song. And then I showed it to the business course teacher, and she was like, shit, if you found like the right industry, you do really well. And I was like, oh, thank you, because that's like that's the first time anyone said that about anything I've ever made, because most of the stuff I've made is shit. And so that was YouTube back in its infancy, back in 2006 or 7 or something. So, and then it was only in 2012 when I'd finished my writing course. I was like, well, that was a piece of crap. I better do something else. So,
but yeah, helped you on your journey anyway.
For sure.
We spoke about this a little bit earlier, but where does the name Danger Dolan come from? Just so you don't have to answer it 1,000 times, or hopefully not.
For sure. So it was originally called the DD Guides because guides for World of Warcraft boss guides, and DD stood for Double Dragon, but I knew I would change that eventually when I made it, because copyright infringing. So I did the next best thing, and I ripped off a meme, and it was the Dolan Duck meme. And then I just photoshopped in some crap onto his face, like a mustache, and I just call it Danger Dolan. I figured because Dolan was already known, it would just give me like a little boost in rankings. Because when you're starting out, you will take anything that will give you a boost. You'll bounce off a brand or a name or anything that people are already aware of.
Hey, I'm wearing a Mario shirt.
So you can plug your own shit. Once you're established, you can do your own thing, kind of like what we're doing with animations now. And so that was where the name came from. It was just, I thought the meme was funny and I didn't think long term. So now we're stuck with the Dolan character. It's great.
Oh well, it's actually working for you anyway, so So on that note, what do you think made you so popular? Like, you've taken the world by storm, you know, like what is it about you? And can I steal that essence from you somehow?
It's just the damn YouTube algorithm just favored me for a few minutes.
Yeah, you reckon that's
all it was? The countdowns were taking off at that time, and I just kind of jumped on the bandwagon and did my own thing with it. And I don't know. I mean, SPD was just that was like a mix of stuff that I kind of thought worked on YouTube, like. Animation didn't work at that time for anyone, so I thought, well, if we can do it in a way that's more of a budget, more like quickly produced, and also mix it in with like an eye-catching title, like just questions, like life questions. People are always typing these questions into Google. Then that would help.
So yeah, it was just good timing, sort of thing. Like, what do you think made you so popular? Like, it was a combination of good timing, good content.
It's just I was just working really hard at the start, and it's just the right place, right time. Which is, look at any opportunity, like literally anyone ever, and 90% of the time it's just you knew the right person at the right time, and
right time, right place.
In this case, the person happened to be YouTube, so just happened to know YouTube at the right time for that kind of content. Now countdowns don't really work, so that 5 minutes has passed. But it was 2012 when that algorithm changed, which is exactly when I started YouTube, going from viral content to content with lots of watch time, and countdowns are perfect because people watch the whole thing all the way through, so you get really high retention for those. And now it's all about videos that are again like quality stuff that's produced over time, and then you can. There are other ways of being able to fund it now, such as Patreon and such as sponsorships and stuff. So you're not relying on YouTube's ad revenue to make more stuff now. You can diversify, which is actually what we're doing now. I think that I think we're probably just gonna stagnate and decline until we do like the thing we want to do, which is like a cartoon or a big elaborate animation thing, which is what we're aiming towards. It's just gonna be a slow crawl, but hey, like, life's long.
Yeah, you got time, man. You're still a young man and got the gusto and a good brand behind you and good people around you, so we wish you all the best of luck with it, I guess.
Got all the people that worked on that SPD Pecan video. Oh, they're so good. So good at their job. It was a pleasure working with them. Especially character artist Lost Fox, like, you know, he's so thankful just to work on this stuff, and he's so excited to do it and all that. It's really infectious.
Yes. Well, it's good to have positive people around you that are not trying to hold you back, but rather trying to push you up, you know, like sort of thing.
They all know what they're doing, and just everyone else that worked on it, they're all great at their jobs.
It's awesome. So, what led you to the decision to hire staff?
Necessity, because I made a company mostly for tax and accountant reasons, and then it was like, well, I guess I could hire voice actors, which nobody liked. Trust me, like when we first hired like Hellbent, people went fucking crazy. And I understand now it's because I built the brand on my voice.
Your voice,
but it was required for the growth.
Yeah, well, you had so many videos coming out, and there's no way you could have voiced them all yourself. Like, it's just not possible.
It's pretty much every YouTube channel and company reaches that point where you produce enough stuff. Most of them are smart enough not to hire different voice actors, but like the writers and editors and stuff, which I should have done first. At that point, we did start hiring writers, but I was still editing everything. And writing pretty much all the scripts. We had like a giant backlog of scripts at that point. What was the question?
Why did you hire staff, or what made you?
And then after that, we just started advertising at the bottom of videos, like, hey, we're looking for like animators, because well, after this we want to work on stuff with animation, and so we started to build up a small team there. We were working on that as we were working on countdowns. So when we launched the animations, we had like some of the best people who applied, which is like Sweet Commando and Vim and Ghost Toes, and that's when we launched the SPD channel. So we're always thinking ahead, I guess. And so you just hire people, because if you don't, then you're just going to burn yourself out and you'll stop making stuff. And YouTube kind of requires, or Twitch as well, kind of requires you to just keep making things. And if you stop, then people just leave. So
it's so hard to keep that momentum rolling, and
the quality of the stuff you're making as well, because there's so many gears in there. I'm really surprised that big companies can maintain the quality of all their products, because they got like thousands of people working on it. We're only a team of like less than 30 now, and that's hard enough to manage.
Yeah, it would be.
So I can't imagine thousands of people.
Alright, we'll skip a few of these. So we'll kind of move on to, what are the biggest challenges facing Planet Dolan at the moment?
Trying to get an animation all cartoon made, because we've got the pilot all storyboarded, and we have talked to studios and they're interested and they've read the script and all that and seen the storyboard, but getting the funds for that is a pain, because it's way more expensive than YouTube. They're used to dealing with giant companies, as I said, with thousands of people, so they're not going to reduce your prices just because you're some schmear from YouTube. So like unless you find a company that's either willing to have their costs down, like in certain ways, like you usually negotiate different things, like you can write a script that only has one setting that would save you a lot on backgrounds, or you can have ones that reduce how many frames are in it, that would reduce costs, that kind of thing. Basically, you're negotiating the quality of your cartoon to the point where you're okay with it and you can afford it. So Yeah, that's. I'd say the biggest problem is just being able to afford the things that you want to do, and finding a way for people to want to watch it. So YouTube's great for that, but if you make a cartoon, you can't just put it on YouTube because you would never make your money back.
Yeah,
that you
from
invested
the ads,
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you almost got to find a sponsor or another platform or something.
Yeah,
like that.
probably a different platform, honestly.
Yeah.
YouTube Red would be okay, but I don't know if like they know what they're doing.
Okay. Yeah.
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 They seem to just be throwing all kinds of shit at the wall and just seeing what hits.
Yep. Yeah, well, I guess that would be one of your biggest opportunities that's facing you right now, is the opportunity to do those bigger scale animations. And
We could do it right now, but honestly, the quality of some of the offers was just like garbage. I don't want to do like flash animation for a cartoon. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it works for some formats. If you're doing comedy, it's fine, but if you're doing anything with any kind of movement, it looks stiff and awkward and horrible.
It's strange. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why a lot of cartoons you see on TV are all like comedy, because they're really easy to animate for. It's like cheap shit. No one cares though, as long as it's funny.
Yeah. So we'll move on quickly. We'll try and get through these. So how did your book launch go? You know, can you tell us a little bit about that? Is it doing well? Is it being well received? Just pumping away in the background? Or?
Well, I mean, that was just an offer from Pat Macmillan, just randomly. Like, usually with emails from companies, I just scoff at them, like, I have no idea who you are, you're probably going to rip me off. That was one I was like, hey, I recognize you guys. So, yeah, no, they were the ones who handled like all the details. All we did was supply the scripts, and I kind of read over all the stuff they're doing and helped kind of guide how it looks and all that. But they were the ones that like formatted everything, helped edit all the scripts down, so that there's like a lot of terms in American they had to change to Australian, like measurements and things. But in terms of the launch, like there was no like launch event or anything. They never asked us to do any signings or appearances or anything. So in terms of a launch, we just didn't really know.
Just came out.
Yeah, it just kind of came out. I mean, it was in all the major stores, which was nice.
Yeah.
So you'd go in there and be like, hey, that's my book.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I kind of just listened to the sales reports that they give me, and I'm like, yeah, sounds good. I think they sold about 10,000 or something like that.
Wow, that's pretty sweet, man. Like, to think they're on bookshelves and
yeah, it's
whatever
really
else, you
nice.
know. That's really cool. So this kind of goes back to your cartoon and things like that. As I was saying earlier, I really enjoyed the end of Doopy, the cartoon. That was the title, right? Yeah, the end of Doopy.
Yeah, the end of Doopy. It's more like it's like a half cartoon, half visual novel. Tried to do it in a way where we can reuse a lot of stuff, but still tell like a cohesive story. It just means that we can't. The major thing that slows us down, like the bottleneck, is the animated scenes that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
That's the major thing. But the rest of it, the visual novel stuff, is actually quite simple, and yeah, can't wait to do more of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think that kind of answers most of the questions. That's sort of where you're heading now, is more animation, more feature sort of things like that.
Yeah.
Which sounds really awesome, man. Like, great to see where you go from here. I think, like, I know a lot of my audience loves you. Your audience loves you. Slapham audience loves you. Everyone loves you. So I thought we'd just quickly say, if you want to support Danger Dolan, check out his Patreon at patreon.com/PlanetDolan. Make sure you check out his channels, Planet Dolan Entertainment, which I guess, you know, you're not working on so much anymore.
Dead.
Planet Dolan and Super Planet Dolan, which will have all of the new animations coming up. So
yeah, hoping to have the next episode done within a month or two. It's a new format, so we haven't got it in the pipeline. That was like the pilot to see how it costs, how much time it takes, whether or not we can actually do it, whether or not people like it. So like we've started work on episode 2, but this format is done in a way where we can potentially do them monthly, but we have to write a whole ton of scripts and we have to get them into the pipeline.
yeah,
So
start pumping, cranking those gears.
it'll be slow at the start, but it should hopefully speed up later and not go down in quality at all.
Sure. Oh well, it sounds exciting anyway, man. And you've got merch and stuff as well, haven't you? I'll see if I can grab a link off you and we'll whack it somewhere there. Maybe there. There would be good. Big Planet Dolan merch stuff. So yeah, thank you very much for your time, man. I really appreciate you hanging out with me and getting to know you better. Hopefully you guys like. Please share like and subscribe and do all that stuff.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button and yeah, buy my merch too. Alright, see you guys. Bye. Bye.
A huge thanks to Jacob Clark for being our first Mayhem supporter. Without the likes of him, I wouldn't be running. If you want to join the team, please consider taking a look at our Patreon page in the description below for your chance to get some exclusive behind the scenes looks at Super Mayhem and even access to some sweet downloads. You don't need to go and traipse through New Donk City for a great deal. Head on over to supermayhem.com for all kinds of video game related goodies. We currently have a 30% off sale on everything over $40 and free shipping, including Super Mario Odyssey related items even. Not enough for you? Use the coupon code ODYSSEY at the checkout for a further 15% off your order. Link in the description below. Check it out now.